or someone you know is about to download danger. Scammers are using artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency to separate you from your cold hard cash. Where does the money go? Will they ever see it again?
No.
You don't have to be looking for love to fall for one of these scams.
Every time I send money, it's never enough.
You're surrounded by people who do care about you and who will burn this son of a bitch to the ground. At the risk of causing mass paranoia, what if I told you hundreds of thousands of companies know where you live, your age, your children, your job, and the value of your home? That's just the tip of the iceberg. It's because of data brokers. These are digital dumpster divers who find your most private information and sell it to the highest bidder. That's why Delete Me, a data privacy company, asked to sponsor this episode of Dr. Phil Primetime. You'll learn more about Delete Me during the next hour. There are so many ways we download danger without even realizing it. We begin with the story of Lucy, a widow looking for online love. Instead, she found herself the victim of a vicious scam. Lucy told Merit TV's Chris Harrison how she fell for it and the price she paid.
Hi.
Hey, how are you? I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
I am so excited to kind of dive in and find out what's going on with you. Your husband passed away about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. He was just everything to me.
And you guys had kids, right?
Yeah. I have a son
Yeah.
and I have a daughter that's in heaven.
Oh, God bless you guys.
Yeah. So I've been all alone.
Mm. How long did it take you to kind of get to the point where you were thinking, I may want someone in my life?
About 2 years ago. I started dating the guy that's online.
Tell me about him.
Complicated.
Yeah.
His name is Kane Robinson,
How old is he, by the way?
57. Don't you ask me my
He's-
age.
I would not. I'm a gentleman. I would never do that. Tell me about him.
He looked me up on Facebook and liked some of my photos. And he was in Syria as a doctor.
In Syria as a doctor?
Mhm.
Okay.
He decided that since it was getting so bad, they were getting bombed all the time, and he wanted to come home to be with me. And I told him that I would help him.
So you've sent money.
It was just $4,000, and he was going to get to come home.
Right.
Then they said that it was going to be $18,500 because he was a doctor, and for his safety, he had to have a private jet.
Okay.
So my friend and I got the money together and sent it.
Okay. And then the goal was to get him out and get him home by Thanksgiving of 2023.
Right. And I was supposed to meet him in New Orleans at the airport Thanksgiving Day. He didn't show up. I get a phone call finally from him, and he was arrested in UK for having a bag of gold, a gun, and some little tiny explosive things.
He was trying to transport $3 million in gold back home. And now that gold got confiscated when he got arrested.
Right. It seems like every time I send money, it's never enough.
Right.
There's always something. It's like I sent $21,000 for him to come home, and he didn't come home. We sent $60,000, the $4,000, and then the $18,500, and then I sent 21, and then I said $6,000.
So over 100,000. And so right now, in your mind, Kane is sitting in a jail somewhere.
My fear is that I'll never talk to him again.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I know this is tough, and you're really torn because you're invested in this relationship.
Correct.
During Chris's meeting with Lucy, she called Kane, and he didn't answer. After all, he's in jail. But he did call back almost immediately, and we were able to capture that. So let's give it a listen.
What would happen, do you think, if we called him right now?
I don't know.
I won't talk.
How you doing?
I don't do well. I told you I need some medication. I feel sick. I just got the last medication.
So you're feeling sick?
So very sick, baby. I don't have to tell you whatever's going on here, but it's not really well with me. I need you to help me.
And you can't wait till like Wednesday when I'm unflagged?
I just ask you for a simple one card. I'm not asking you to help me with the rest. I just need to get a medication and get help. I need strength. I'm so sick. Please, do I have to wait till that before I get medication? Is that what you want? Okay.
It's just that I would have more access to my funds.
You will have more access, but I just need one card, and it's just 500. So why are you can't help me? Why can't you help me? Why are you doing this, honey? Please, I need help.
I know you do, and I'm gonna try.
Can you just do it for me now? Can you just go get it for me? I know you can. I'm not asking for too much. Please. I just need you to help me whenever you can. But right now, I need the medication because I can't sleep at night. I feel a lot of pain. It's a whole lot of pain I deal with. I can't sleep at night. And they're going to lock me back in there. And I have to deal with it over again. I don't know how long. I can't help it. They're just going to come in one day and find me dead. And then they can send the photos to you. Maybe that's what you want.
No, that's not what I want.
Where are you right now?
I'm in a parking lot.
Where?
At a grocery store.
Okay, would you help me get a card there, please? Just one, at least 500. I'm begging you because they're gonna put me back in there right now, and I want to have access to you again. Maybe after whenever you call, and if there is someone there, it's difficult for me. They keep feeding me with whatever they want to, and I need help. Please.
Okay.
Thank you, babe.
Okay.
I'm going to call you back right now. Please pick up.
Okay, I will. That's why I don't call him or answer the phone. It tears my heart up.
Sorry.
Anyway.
As soon as we get done talking, you're going to go get another $500 card and send it to him?
I really don't want to, but I believe everything he says.
Yeah.
I mean, do you believe him?
I don't know him.
Right.
I can see how emotional it makes you.
It makes me so. Because if he is innocent and I don't help him, it's like I would never forget myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's so many people say, it's a scam, it's fraud, and they just want you for your money, but then when you talk to him and it makes you believe it.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask Chris a question, the answer to which may be one of the most important answers in your life right now. And then I got a question for you that may be one of the most important questions you've ever been asked right after the break. The IRS is the largest collection agency with April 15th fast approaching. It's more aggressive than ever. If you owe back taxes or have unfiled returns, waiting's not an option. The smart move is to get ahead of this. Listen, never contact the IRS alone. Let the experts at Tax Network USA handle it for you. Tax Network USA has a preferred direct line to the IRS. Now, whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, Tax Network USA's attorneys and negotiators have already resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. Talk with one of their strategists today. It's free. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Dr. Phil. That's tnusa.com/Dr. Phil. April 15th is just around the corner. Act now. When my sleep was off, it felt like I couldn't show up as my best self. That's why I'm so excited to share something that makes a real difference. Beam's Dream Powder. Beam is proudly founded in America and run by people who share our values, hard work and integrity, and delivering results. It's a science-backed, healthy nighttime blend packed with ingredients shown to improve sleep, so you can wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day. Dream is made with a powerful blend of all natural ingredients: reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. Beam has already improved over 17.5 million nights of sleep, helping people across the country wake up and feel their best. Here's the deal. Beam is giving my listeners the ultimate Patriot discount of 40% off. Try their best-selling Dream Powder and get up to 40% off for a limited time. Go to shopbeam.com/Dr. Phil and use code Dr. Phil at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/Dr. Phil and use code Dr. Phil for up to 40% off. Support an American company, invest in yourself, and start getting your best sleep tonight. Well, I'm here with my good friend and Merritt Street Media's Chris Harrison. Now, Chris sat down with Lucy to hear her story, and Lucy says she wants to know once and for all if her boyfriend Kane, who says he is currently sick and being detained in a UK jail, is who he claims to be. Now, Chris, I said I had a question for you, the answer to which would be critical to Lucy. In evaluating the motives that you hear coming through on Kane's part, do you believe that he is treating her like someone you love genuinely could and should be treated?
Absolutely not. Not once in that conversation did he ask about you. How are you doing? He only asked about you as a means to an end, which was getting another card. And by the way, just to explain, the card are $500 cards that she's able to send over to the UK. That's one way they found after they froze her assets to get him money.
Where's he from?
Came from Miami, Florida.
He came from Miami. So
He
that's a
lived in
Florida
Miami.
accent.
No, that's what I said.
So you didn't hear any concern in his voice for her. You didn't hear him wanting to nurture her, care for her in any way.
Well, when you have expressed, even to Kane, that your assets have been frozen and that you're having trouble getting them, there was no remorse, there was no empathy. My gosh, Lucy, I'm so sorry I put you in this bind. Mm-hmm. You know, none of that before getting back to the focus, which is obtaining more money.
What do you know about yourself that makes you feel like you have to settle for a relationship defined by abuse?
Oh, I don't deserve it. I know I don't.
Well,
I
no,
know that.
Based on results, you believe you
Yeah.
do. Did he or did he not threaten
Oh, yeah.
to
And then-
embarrass you
Yeah.
and send out pictures
Pictures.
that would humiliate you if you didn't pay him money?
And that's why I kept paying him money to shut him up.
Are you a victim of sextortion or are you in love? Those are two different things.
I don't think I'm in love anymore. I'm mad at him for doing that to me. And that was the thing. He kept saying that if I don't do this or do that, then they were going to send him to the Netherlands for trial.
Okay. This is somebody that's blackmailing you.
Mm-hmm.
We don't wish bad things on anyone, but on the other hand, if I'm going to stop somebody from walking into traffic, he may be low on the list. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear was to get blackmailed and him sending my pictures to my son.
You know what his greatest fear should be? That all of a sudden you're surrounded by people who do care about you, who will stick up for you, who will fight for you,
Right.
and who will burn this son of a bitch to the ground.
Right.
The time has come for you to finally find out if Cain is your forever man or a forever fiend. I'm going to give you some absolutely undeniable evidence right after the break. Now, Lucy, this is a picture of your Cain, correct? Mm-hmm. The man in that picture is here. And I'm sorry to tell you this, Lucy, his name isn't Cain. His name is Dr. Steve G. Jones. And he's a hypnotherapist living in the United States. Dr. Jones, please join us. How are you, sir? How you doing?
Good to see you.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you for taking time out of your life to come here to help this very nice and deserving lady. Your identity was stolen.
Yes, sir.
You've seen it in that picture. Do you remember that picture at all?
Yes.
Where was it taken?
On one of my trips to Las Vegas in about 2011, I'd say.
Still looks like you.
Oh, thank you.
So how does it feel to see Cain in the flesh?
I knew it wasn't him.
Is this the first time that your picture has been stolen?
No, it's been done thousands of times, unfortunately. And that's just what they do. And it's been going on for a long time.
So does it make you wonder who is behind it? If it's not him, who is behind that picture?
Right. That's what I want to know. Because when I'm talking to him, when we're Skyping, it's him. And how did they do that?
Oh, it's a deep fake. These are, let me tell you, there are ads out there right now of me selling products that I've never even heard of. And it's me talking. Have y'all seen some of those?
Yeah.
It's actually me talking. It's AI technology, and it's called a deep fake. You're seeing an image with a voice, but there's nobody there really. It is all a computer-generated image.
So they're very good at what they do. And if you're circling this from 30,000 feet and you're sitting here with Dr. Phil, it's very easy to dissect. But
Right.
when you're living it day in and day out,
Right.
It's confusing. It's
It is.
very confusing.
Especially when you're talking to them and it seems like it's the person that's actually talking.
And they're
I'm
actually
FaceTiming you.
responding to you, to
Right.
what you're saying in real
Exactly.
time.
It's crazy.
Do you believe what I'm telling you here? 100%?
Oh, yeah.
You deserve so much better. Well, remember when I said you don't have to be looking for love to fall for one of these scams? When we come back, I'll introduce you to a husband and wife who were simply looking to grow their nest egg when a scammer using cryptocurrency and human trafficking scrambled their hopes and dreams. Life is full of surprises, and emergencies often strike when we least expect them. But preparation is key, and that's where Jace Case comes in. With Jace Case, you'll have essential emergency prescription medications right at your fingertips, ready when you need them most. Whether it's an unexpected illness or a travel mishap, having the right meds on hand can turn a potential crisis into just a minor inconvenience. Don't let the unexpected catch you off guard. Jace Case gives you peace of mind so you can tackle life surprises with confidence. Be ready. Take charge today. Head over to jace.com. That's JASE.com. And when you check out, use the code PHIL, spelled PHIL, to get a discount on your order and to have the right meds on hand the moment you need them. Let's cut to the chase. Your savings could be in serious trouble. When Elon Musk is out here warning us to brace for temporary hardship, you might want to listen. I trust Preserve Gold to safeguard my accounts, and I urge you to do the same. They're the only precious metals company I recommend. Are you going to sit back and hope for the best or take control of your financial future? Text Dr. Phil to 50505 to get your free precious metals guide from Preserve Gold. With gold prices recently breaking records and analysts predicting this trend to continue through 2025, you cannot afford to wait. As a bonus, you can get up to $15,000 with a qualified purchase from Preserve Gold. So don't wait. Text Dr. Phil to 50505. That's DRPHIL to 50505 today. In 2023, the FBI reported pig butchering scams with losses topping almost $3 billion. What we're talking about is a new and very sophisticated scam where predators stalk their prey, fatten them up, and go in for the kill. These scams actually have two victims: the person being scammed, and in most cases, the person doing the scamming. That's right, the people doing the pig butchering are victims too. Human trafficking victims being forced to steal your money. Now, Tracy and Greg were looking for a high-yield investment opportunity, but it sure didn't turn out the way they hoped.
We sold our house last year, and we took the proceeds of the money, which was over $100,000, and set it aside. Greg really wanted to invest the money. About 10 months later, Greg told me that he'd been following on YouTube the Real Estate Ninja.
He has a real estate course. I asked if it would be something to do. He said, just hold your money.
I don't think the course is for you. And then later that day, Greg said, Travis, the real estate ninja, he contacted me again and he left a phone number. So before long, Greg and Travis were texting throughout the day.
He suggested that we put it into this investment platform. They use crypto.
So the platform was called MetroCap Trading, and he had us set up a basic account. It looked legitimate. And he said that the next step would be to wire the money to a Chase bank account. We went ahead and wired $100,000 so they could use that into the cryptocurrency platform.
I was pretty excited.
So the next day, I got an email saying that we had received $21,000 in interest.
And I thought, wow. And then day two, got another email saying there's $21,000 in there.
$42,000 in 2 days?
And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
Now, Tracy and Greg's elation over their sudden windfall, well, it didn't last long.
Travis sent another message saying that if we could come up with another $50,000, we would qualify for this promotion. And I told him, we don't have that money.
Looking at this issue now, there is really nothing for you to lose investing in the promo, but everything to gain. If you proceed with the promo, you get to receive $60K within 5 days of deposit. Then you can withdraw as much as you want. If you decide to neglect this offer, on the other hand, we will have complications with your account.
I just didn't feel good about it. And I sent a voice message to him. I was in poverty most of my life. And I was telling him, I'm afraid to put it in there. So after being urged into tears, I went to Twitter and looked up Real Estate Ninja. And right at the top of his profile, I will never ask anyone for cash.
And I thought, oh crap.
That's when I learned that we were pig butchered.
And until this day, we've not recovered any of our money.
You guys paid a high price for your education, right?
Yes.
How much total?
$100,000.
Wow. And I don't want to rub salt in your wound, but how long did it take you to accumulate that?
A lifetime.
A lifetime.
And how long did it take for it to disappear?
An instant.
Just that quick?
Yep.
Were you at all familiar with this type of scam?
We're just familiar with the typical scams. You get an email that says your delivery there's a problem with it, or, the things that seem obvious, Those are the kind of scams that we were aware of, but I never knew something this sophisticated was in existence.
Yeah. And you were first contacted by the scammer on YouTube?
Yeah, I listened to a guy called Real Estate Ninja. I'd listened to him for several months. I was familiar with his voice, what he did, and then he was offering a real estate course that I was interested in. So I reached out to him to see if that was something that a novice like me that's never done real estate would be qualified for.
And what did he say?
He said, no, hold on to your money.
Yeah. And so what happened next?
Next thing was I was contacted by somebody that sounded exactly like Real Estate Ninja. And I mean, exactly like him. All the voice inflections, the mannerisms. And he said, I'd like to talk to you about maybe being able to reach your goal of by March of having additional income to put into a new home for yourself.
And what kind of returns were they telling you would make?
21%, which I thought, who is giving 21% interest these days?
What did you say to yourself that convinced you to keep moving forward?
That I tend to wear the pants in our relationship, and I'm the one who's always doing the finances. And poor Greg, I don't really give him, I suppose, the opportunity to do anything with finances. And I thought, this is really important to Greg, and it's time that I let go of control and listen to his advice.
So are you saying now on national television, the one time you let him make a decision?
I'm sorry.
It's my fault.
He ran. The one time you let him do something, he ran it off in the ditch. Is that what you're here to tell us?
Yes, but now he knows that he should trust me.
Okay. This show just took a left turn. So where did Tracy and Greg's money really end up? And why can't they get it back? The answer gets a whole lot scarier than you might think. Well, we're back with Tracy and Greg, who got scammed in what's called a pig butchering scam. In this case, we're talking about getting in contact with a mark, building trust, getting them to make, an investment, and reeling them in, and then they take your money, and in some cases just disappear, just ghost you. In other cases, it gets much darker than that. Now, Tracy says they received emails from Metro Capital Trading, right?
Yes.
And you're saying that at first you got back a big return, right? They gave you at least documentation that you earned $21,000.
In one day.
In one day. And then $42,000 in 2 days.
Yes.
So you guys were doing the happy dance in the living room, right?
Well, Greg was.
Okay.
I was happy. I wasn't suspecting that it was a scam, though, because I really trusted the person who we thought was the real estate ninja.
And where did you think the profits were coming from?
Well, it was the result of cryptocurrencies, precious metals investments that they said they did. Mm-hmm. And so I knew of crypto. I didn't ever dabble in it, but I knew there was a movement towards some high returns on it. So I thought they had an inside track. I'd had to rely on somebody that knew what they were doing.
Yeah. And was that someone, Travis?
Yeah.
And I even texted Travis and said, you know what I'd like to do? I would like to withdraw our capital, our principal, and just let the money that we've already earned in interest remain in there to build up more. And I was just saying that because I wanted our $100,000 back, but I didn't want to let on to that person. Well, I still was thinking it was the real guy, but I didn't want to let on that I was beginning to have serious doubts.
And he wanted you to do this promo thing, right?
Yeah.
He was just really persistent in pushing us to invest our last few $1,000s. And he said that we needed to have 50,000, which we didn't have. But he said, the promo, you've got to have 50,000. If you can just put in what you can, then I will cover the rest out of my own account because I really like you and Greg and I consider you friends and I want to do this for you.
Yeah. Okay. Did that set off warning bells?
Yeah. I felt there was something that was going to be required afterward. So I didn't feel comfortable doing that.
I said that this gets really dark and people like Tracy and Greg actually get trafficked into this. Now, how does that happen? A former FBI investigator specializing in pig butchering and Southeast Asian-based cryptocurrency scams says these scams are not only high-tech, but play on people's lack of knowledge about cryptocurrency and the desire to get rich and get rich quick.
Cyber fraud has cost billions of dollars of loss in the United States. The common thread with all these cyber crimes is the victim is met or approached on some type of social media application or dating app or through a text message. After that, the scammer moves over to an encrypted app. Within a couple of days, the scammer will show them their elaborate lifestyle, and they'll explain that they obtained that lifestyle through investing in cryptocurrency. This is where the scam gets scary. The scammer convinces the victim to invest the funds they have on hand in this incredibly convincing application that they download onto their cell phone. It looks like a cryptocurrency stock market application. It looks perfect. And it's showing what they just deposited is going up in value immensely, but it's all fake. At some point, the victim wants to withdraw those dollars, and that's when the gig's up. Their account's frozen, and they realize that they've been scammed. What's really happening is the funds are being laundered through the cryptocurrency blockchain until it arrives at an exchange owned by a Southeast Asian actor. And the bosses tend to be Chinese nationals operating out of those countries, who then cash out that cryptocurrency for their own international currency. In the FBI's most recent annual report, they estimated loss amounts of cybercrime to $10 billion. I've personally talked to tons of victims who have lost millions of dollars. Most victims don't get any help and don't get any money back.
Jason, thanks for being here. You've worked with more than 800 of these cases, right?
Yes, sir, I have.
And where is their $100,000 right now?
Cashed out at some exchange by somebody from Southeast Asia.
Will they ever see it again?
At that point, no.
It's gone.
It's gone.
They have no recourse, no way to get this back.
Yeah, once it's cashed out at an exchange and turns into liquid currency, then it goes through its own money laundering, typically through casinos throughout Southeast Asia.
These scams are far worse than just sending money to a hacker in some basement somewhere. Why is that?
It's because the scammers are themselves victims.
How's that happening?
So the billionaire bosses, they put out ads for employment to China, Singapore, Taiwan, Vietnam. And these folks look at these ads and they travel down to Myanmar, Laos, or Cambodia, thinking they're going to have a customer service job. When they arrive, these thugs take away their cell phones, take away their passports, and they're forced to one of hundreds of these compounds and forced to do pig butchering scams. If they don't produce, they're tortured or even murdered.
These compounds they go into, some of them are right in the middle of the city. Some of them might be apartment complex or whatever, but these are places that are guarded by thugs with automatic weapons, et cetera, and they don't have food, they're basically held captive in a sweatshop, and they have to produce, and you could be talking to someone that was victimized the same way you were, and they're trying to get their money back. They can be tortured, beaten, as he said, murdered. They just disappear off the face of the earth. And we're talking about a couple of 100,000 people on the Pacific Rim. I mean, this is spread out in a really big way.
Yeah, when we talk about any given time, these pig butchering scammers or human traffic scammers, we're talking 20 to 30,000 people in 100 different compounds.
Now, Neo was human trafficked into one of these compounds for 7 months and forced into a torture chamber for 18 days. Now, I'm going to give you a heads up. The video you're about to see is extremely graphic. It was taken and sent to Neo's family for ransom. He was held for 7 months and then tortured in this way and others for 18 days. Joining us now from an undisclosed location is Neo.
Oh, thank you for having me, Dr. Phil.
When this all started, you thought you were going for a job interview, is that right?
Yeah, a translator gig in Thailand.
When did things turn really dark and get out of control? When did it go wrong?
Well, initially, I was getting picked up in the Bangkok airport, but things got changed when I saw some straw-hat man with a machete in the hand, and I know I am totally doomed because I have to follow their instruction, otherwise it could go sideways.
Why were you being tortured in that video?
Oh, because I want to leave. And I told them I had already reached out to New York Times journalist, and it is my ultimate message to them. I am done with that. And I had to smuggle out some information they do not want to disclose because all they care is about their personal identity. Because I am fully aware that if I dare take any photo of their, let's say, portraits to disclose their facial image of any sorts, I will be dead.
How did you eventually get loose? How did you get rescued?
I somehow managed to reach out to my family in discreet, and I told my family the only way to get me out there is to find a broker who could establish a dialogue with local military who is providing protections for those scam compounds. And I was released from that brokerage.
I appreciate you sharing this information, the pictures, the story that makes all of this all too real. Is there anything that you want to say that we haven't talked about?
Oh, yes, definitely. I wish to make a plea to all the audience because I want you to understand, if I was not rescued, if I was still trapped in those concentration camps in Burma, I will be scamming you because I have no other options. If I want to survive, I have to scam you, and I will not be able to leave those concentration camps. I implore you, the citizens of the free world, to pressure your government to act on it, because it is not just your money, it is anti-human trafficking. Do the right thing. Do the good thing.
Well said, and thank you so much for talking about it, Neo. I appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Next, we'll meet a man who was pig butchered and now spends his days fighting back and scamming the scammers. We'll be right back. We are now joined on stage by Troy, and you too were scammed. When you first got contacted, how did they find you? Where were you and how did you get contacted?
It was on Facebook dating and met this person who supposedly lived in Seattle. They were of supposedly Asian heritage. One parent was in Ukraine, one parent was in another country, whatever. And they owned 5 clothing stores there in Ukraine. And we're here now, and as they told me, making lots of money in cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. And then they would send me other pictures of this wealth that they had through cryptocurrency. And then eventually, she got to the point where she told me, hey, maybe you could do this with me.
You eventually got burned for over $25,000.
Yes.
And now you work scamming the scammers. So how does that work?
That's right. So several victims got together and formed an organization called the Global Anti-Scam Organization. Our job was to, first of all, learn about what actually happened, learn more about these scams. One way that we learned about it was by talking with scammers. So they would still reach out to us, and we would chat with them, pretend to be the victim. Through that, we could get websites, we could get other wallet addresses. We could see through tracing how the money was moving. Mm-hmm. And we could also see how their scams were evolving over time.
Are y'all surprised how sophisticated this is?
I heard that in Cambodia, where a lot of these compounds are, they make $12 billion a year on pig butchering. That's about the size of their GDP.
Yeah.
They're hitting everybody in the entire world.
The pig butchering scammers love to work through the wrong number text. That's another thing that people have to look out for. You get a text message to your phone that looks like it's designed for somebody else. No, it was designed for them. It's designed to start that conversation.
Yeah, I get about 10 a day. They keep calling me James. And I keep deleting them and label them as junk, but I so want to write back and say, my name's not James. And I get them, James, are you still looking for a job? No. My name's not James and I have a job. Leave me alone. I want to thank all of my guests today for being here. I also want to thank you at home for watching. There is something for everyone on Merit TV. If you love true crime, we have Nancy Grace bringing her unique voice to our true crime block. You'll also be able to get your Robin fix because she's going to have a show here on Merit TV. You will not want to miss that. You can also catch the Behavior Panel, Bear Grylls, Micro, The Bachelor's Chris Harrison, and so much more right here on Merit Street Media. My new book, We've Got Issues, How All Americans Can Stand Strong for Our Country's Soul and Sanity, is now on sale everywhere books are sold. And I have to tell you, I believe it's the most important book I've ever written. And I've been told that there are those factions in this country that think this may be the most dangerous book that is on the market right now, because there are certainly people trying to sabotage its distribution. So you can certainly help by picking up a copy and reading it, and you'll find out why people think it's dangerous. Because I love this country. I stand up when the flag goes by, I put my hand over my heart when they play the national anthem, and I'm tired of people apologizing for America. And I say so, and I say why. You'll see when you pick up the book. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.